Alright, let's talk about one of the creepiest unsolved cases in American history. This story takes place in Texarkana, a small border town split between Texas and Arkansas. And back in 1946, this small town had no idea what was coming. For months, people lived in absolute fear. Families refused to go out after dark, and couples stopped going to Lover's Lane, and police was patrolling the streets like a war was about to break out. Why? Because a masked man was attacking and killing people at night. And no one, not the police, not the FBI, and not even the Texas Rangers, could catch him. This is the case of the Phantom Killer. And the craziest part, he was never officially identified. Let me paint the picture first. In 1946, World War II had just ended, and people were finally relaxing again. Texarkana was the kind of place where folks left their doors unlocked, where you knew your neighbors. Friday nights meant going out for a movie or a dance. Teenagers would drive out to the edge of town, park along quiet county roads, and just to hang out. This was very normal for the time. Lovers' lanes weren't considered sketchy. They were just a place to escape your parents and just hang out for a while. Nobody thought anything bad could happen there. But the peace, it didn't last long. On February 22nd, 1946, a couple named Jimmy Hollis and Mary Jean Larry went out to one of those quiet roads. Just a normal date night, right? They had been parked for maybe 10 minutes when suddenly, out of nowhere, someone walked to the driver's side window and shined a flashlight into the car. Now, at first they thought maybe this was a police officer, someone doing a routine check. But as the man stepped closer, they realized he was wearing a white sack over his head and two holes cut out for eyes, nothing else. He ordered Jimmy out of the car, and when Jimmy hesitated, the masked man hit him so hard on his head that it fractured his skull. And Mary Jean, poor Mary Jean, she tried to run away. She sprinted into the woods barefoot as the man chased her and even fired at her. But she actually managed to escape and get help, which is the only reason we know what happened that night. At this point, people thought maybe this was just a one-time attack, something horrible, but isolated. But they were so wrong. 3 weeks later, the Phantom struck again. A man found a car parked off a remote dirt road. Inside, it were the bodies of a couple, Richard Griffin and Polly Ann Moore. The scene was unsettling. The car doors were locked. Nobody heard anything. It was almost as if the killer came and left without leaving a trace. Police were confused. This wasn't a robbery. This wasn't the story of a jealous ex. This was someone who attacked at random. And that's what terrified people the most. And word started to spread, and people began connecting this to the earlier attack. They started saying there's someone out there hunting couples. And they were not wrong. There was. Then came April 14th. Betty Jo Booker, just 15 years old, had finished a performance with her band. Her friend, Paul Martin, picked her up afterward. The next morning, Paul's body was found on the side of the road, and Betty Jo's body was unfortunately found hours later, over a mile away, hidden in the woods. This told investigators something quite terrifying. The killer wasn't just attacking couples in cars anymore. He was evolving, becoming bolder, more violent. This attack shook the town to its core. Parents started keeping their kids inside. Couples canceled dates. Schools even warned students about going out after dark. Cause let's be honest, it doesn't seem like this was a great idea. Texarkana basically went into lockdown. People started buying guns. Hardware stores sold out of locks. Some families slept in shifts. One person awake watching the windows while the others slept. And police patrols tripled. The Texas Rangers showed up, including the legendary lone wolf Gonzalez, a man known for tracking down killers. The newspaper loved it, of course. Headlines were dramatic and terrifying, and that's when the public started calling him the Phantom Killer. People were scared to walk outside at night. Even couples who went to Lover's Lane for years stopped going. For obvious reasons, the town wasn't nervous anymore. It was terrified. On May 3rd, the Phantom changed his pattern again, and this time he didn't go after a parked car. Virgil and Katie Starks lived in a farmhouse, miles from usual crime scenes. Virgil was sitting on a chair reading the newspaper when, without warning, bullets smashed through the window and killed him instantly. Katie heard the glass break and went to go check on him and was unfortunately shot as well. But somehow, she survived. She escaped the house while bleeding, ran to her neighbor's place and got help. Police confirmed it. Same style, same weapon, same killer. And just like that, the Phantom disappeared once again. But eventually, police found a man they thought could potentially be the Phantom. His name was Yao Sweeney. He was a car thief in and out of trouble. His wife supposedly hinted that it was involved in the murders. But here's the problem. Back then, a wife couldn't legally testify against her husband. And without her statement, the prosecution had nothing solid. Sweeney went to prison for other crimes, but never for murder. And nothing tied him to the killings with 100% certainty. Was it the Phantom? Possibly. A lot of people actually think so. But officially, the case remains unresolved. After the Starks attack, the Phantom never struck again. The murders just ended. Some people believed he died. Some thought maybe he moved away. Others believe he was someone within the community, someone quietly blending in. The case became part of Texarkana's identity. Books were written about it, a movie was made, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Every year, the town even screens the film as a strange tradition. But the actual mystery, still unsolved, still haunting, still whispered about. So here's the question. Did the police actually catch the right man? Or did the Phantom Killer walk away? Did he live the rest of his life quietly in Texarkana? Or did he disappear back into the shadows for good? Nobody knows. And that's what makes this case so chilling. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more stories like this one, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.